Hey guys, it's Ellie again. So it's Monday, and like I said, we're gonna start posting a lot more videos now. So what I'm gonna start with is boundaries, and this video is specifically for our parents. I am gonna try to keep them short and sweet so that you're not spending too much time watching these. And then afterwards, if you end up having questions, if you need more tools or resources like books that you can read or websites that you can visit or activities that you can do, feel free to just email me or call us, or you can message through or leave a comment, on YouTube or message through Facebook, anything like that, okay? So real quick, I'm gonna talk to you all about boundaries and how to talk to your kids about boundaries and what they are. So first of all, when I'm working with my youth, I usually ask them, well, what are boundaries? And we talk about, their lines, their limits, their rules, their guidelines. With my littles, we talk about how it can be like their desk. Their desk is their boundary. No one should be in it, right? Or like a fence for a dog. If we have dogs and we have a fence, the fence is there to help keep our dogs safe so that they don't run away or so that nothing gets to them. But not only is it there to keep them safe, it's there to keep other people and other animals safe so that, our dog doesn't get out and attack other dogs or other people. And so that's what boundaries are. They're there to keep us safe and to keep other people safe. We talk a little bit about, do boundaries get crossed? And yes, they do. At some point in our life, we are going to cross boundaries, and at some point, someone is going to cross our boundaries. And so we talk about how there are consequences for that. There may be consequences just for us or just for that person who crossed the boundaries, but sometimes if we cross a boundary, it can not only hurt us, but it can hurt other people too. And so that's where at the end, we're gonna talk about empathy, because that's something that's really important to discuss too. So let's get started. I do tell them that my definition throughout this series for boundaries is what's okay and what's not okay. A lot of the time, we think we know what we're okay with and what we're not okay with, and sometimes we do know what we're okay with and what we're not okay with. Our boundaries are gonna look different in different situations, they're gonna look different with different people, but the most important thing is that we do know what we're okay with and what we're not okay with. And then the second most important thing is that we're able to communicate it with people. People can't read our minds, and so sometimes, someone will do something that upsets us or that annoys us, and we get frustrated with them because we think that they just know that it's upsetting us or that it's annoying us, but people can't read our minds. And so we need to be able to communicate that with them. If something is bothering us, if something is making us feel uncomfortable or unsafe. So work with your kids on first figuring out what they're okay with and what they're not okay with. With your littles, asking them like in the classroom, what are they okay with and what are they not okay with? Or at home, or with their friends, or if they have video games and they play with people from all over through video games, things that they're okay with, things that they're not okay with, how people may talk to them or treat them. And then with your olders, especially those that are already in dating relationships, talking to them about what they're okay with and what they're not okay with, making sure that they're okay with setting those boundaries in their dating relationships, and that whoever they're with, and this goes for our littles too, their friends, their family members, dating partners, whoever it may be, that people are respecting their boundaries. They shouldn't feel bad for telling someone, especially someone who's in their support system or someone who they're close to, they should not feel bad for setting boundaries, because people who truly care about us, they're going to respect our boundaries and they're going to understand that, right? They're going to support us and our boundaries. So making sure that they know what they're okay with and what they're not okay with, and then being able to communicate that with people. So 2 really important things. And then also having them understand that boundaries go both ways. So coming up with different scenarios, or using any situation that you can really. There are so many opportunities to talk to our kids about boundaries and when one is being set, like if you're reading a book or if you're watching a show, or even in real life, which right now I know we're not really around people, but at home things may happen where someone says, hey, I'm not okay with this. and us respecting that boundary. So yes, teaching your child that it is most definitely important that the people that they're closest to, the people around them, are respecting their boundaries, but also it's really important that they're respecting other people's boundaries as well. It goes both ways. So if their friend is telling them like, hey, I need some space right now, that's really important that they respect their friend's boundary, right? One boundary that I will say you need to talk to your kids about, if they're littles, if they're teens, whatever age they may be, if they have their own social media accounts, or if they have their own phones or tablets or whatever it may be, that they are keeping their passwords to their social media accounts or to their phones private. Not sharing it with their friends, not sharing it with their dating partners. That is a solid boundary that they should be setting, that's private stuff. A lot of unhealthy things can happen whenever they do share that with other people. A lot of personal information can get shared whenever they do share that with other people. And so that is something that they should keep private, that they should know and that you should know, okay? So that's a boundary that you should be talking to them about, most definitely. Then the last thing that I want to talk to you about is empathy. So a lot of parents tell me that they think that their kids just kind of develop empathy as they get older, but that's not necessarily true. We have to teach them what empathy is. We have to talk to them about what empathy is. We need to show them what empathy is. And so using situations like if your child comes home and talks about, a kid that got in trouble at school, or a kid that got hurt at school, or someone being unkind to another student, asking them like, hey, how do you think that person feels? Or with our olders, if they see someone who is being made fun of on the internet or whatever it may be, asking them, how do you think that person feels in that situation? Because a lot of the times, even as adults, it's hard for us to put ourselves in the shoes of another person and stop and think like, man, how does that other person feel, right? We don't really care about it until it starts to happen to us. And so having them think about how their actions affect other people is really important, because all of us need to stop and think before we act, before we do, before we say whatever it may be, and having them understand that our actions and our words, they do have consequences, sometimes only for us, but also other times for other people. And so making sure that they understand that once you say something, once you do something, you cannot take it back. And so the last thing is making sure that not only are we talking to them about this stuff, but we're practicing it too. We need to make sure that our actions are following what we're saying. So if you're talking to your partner, if you're talking to your friends, making sure that you're practicing, setting boundaries and respecting boundaries, that you have healthy communication with them, that you're showing empathy, right? All of that is really, really important, because words just aren't enough for our kids. They need to see it to know what it looks like, what it feels like, all of that. So making sure that we're practicing it as well, very important. All right, so that's it for today on boundaries. I am going to be posting a video specifically for those of you who have littles, for your kids, and then those of you who have teens, I'm going to be posting a different video for your teens. So keep an eye out for that. And again, if y'all have any questions, need resources, tools, books, anything like that that you can read or use to have those conversations with your kids, just let me know. Reach out through YouTube, Facebook, our website, call us, whatever it may be. Okay? All right. Y'all have a great day. I'll see y'all soon. Bye.